Disclaimer: the views and opinions of the hosts and resource persons do not represent those of the organization and the university and its stakeholders.
Good morning, LaSalle! This is Writing in Progress, and we are your hosts, Eros
And Arc.
And here we are going to talk about the nitty-gritty of writing.
And its progress. Today we have our lovely guests, Raph, our former editor-in-chief, and Marian, our current editor-in-chief.
Here to tell us about their experiences as editors. So,
Well, the first question
up.
we have for you guys today is, what's your favorite part about editing?
that's for both of you. So, feel free to go whoever goes first.
Okay, I'll go first. Personally, what I really like about editing is I can see two things at once. The world that the written text is presenting to me as it is, and the world it could present with a bit of revision, or significant revision as the case may be.
For me, it's mainly about the collaborating aspect because I see the current state of what the author is showing me and the polished version of it that could possibly contribute to something bigger in the world. And I like being able to help them achieve that vision.
Okay.
It's a very coach-like answer.
Let's go,
But
Coach.
what I'm getting here is that both of you both of you agree on what could be. Basically, you guys like to see what could be.
Possibilities are endless.
You know what reminds me of that ending line in Cinderella? For some reason.
Which one?
She continued to see the world for what it could be.
Cinderella?
Yeah.
Which Cinderella?
The live action one.
The live action
Yeah.
one.
The only good live actions. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good. That was a good one. So the next question would be, I'm gonna start with Ralph since
Okay.
we're past your term already. Before you became EIC, why did you think to apply?
Honestly, it had to do with a lot of encouragement from my predecessor, Sam Bersaldo. She was the one who pointed out that I have an eye for that kind of thing, attention to detail and the writing ability for it. Cause it was during the workshops where she caught on to a lot of my feedback, which is probably where she found out that I'm editor-in-chief material. So once I'd submitted for Scribbles 2 years back, and once it was accepted, she told me to give it a stab to apply as editor-in-chief, and well, there I made it.
Okay. Marian, how? I kind of know, but I also okay, for the sake of the audience, why did you apply for editor-in-chief?
It's because Sumi.
Yeah.
Sumi.
I don't think the term was applied necessarily.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
I really had no intention of honestly applying, but I was playing D&D with Sumi, and we had we had a session going on. She was like, "Marian, you should apply. You have the skill. You have the eye for it, and you have experience." So I was like, "Okay, I'll try." So I gave it a shot, and then, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Out of sheer curiosity, what was your role in D&D? For her to say that out of a D&D campaign, right?
That was what was my role again? I remember I was a half elf something.
Okay.
Half elf something. That was my first time playing it, so I don't remember the full details of it, but I know that we were playing it with this random dungeon master in BGC.
Okay.
We love our nerds, guys.
I love how that's what prompted that. You're playing D&D. Oh, she should definitely be the editor of our org. Okay.
That's actually very interesting.
That's good. That's new. I thought she was just I want my friends to be part of this org. Because that's what I heard happen. She's like,
Yeah,
my
the
friends should
joke
be
is
part
that she's the dictator and she
Yeah,
has
she
her
brought her
cronies.
regime.
Yeah,
in
she
with
brought her.
She brought her cronies.
Yeah. That is true, but that was another version of it.
Were you part of WG before that, ba?
I was not actually.
Wow, yeah.
So I just.
How are you finding it?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I'm like allowed to speak on what was going on my end of the playing field at the time of the Edboard application.
Oh, I
Are you-
know.
Is
Is he
he?
allowed to?
I
Do you
don't
know?
I don't
I was like,
know.
I do know. I know everything.
Sumi told me a little bit about how the Edboard people received my application. They were like, Marian, you're too intense. That's what they were telling me.
Whoa.
I feel like a
That's
lot of
what
people,
Sumi
like when
told
they
me.
first meet you, that's their like, oh my god, she's so like credited and all that.
Oh.
And then you meet her and she's like, oh, she's like she's a WG person, you know. Like, she's a nerd.
Honestly, my biggest concern at the time wasn't even like the application itself. It was the problem of like, oh, Miss Girl is going to be understaffed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of everything. I'm externals, so like
Oh.
I wouldn't know what is happening.
So like,
If we're allowed to say only
okay,
the stuff you're allowed
if
to
I'm
say.
not allowed to speak on this matter, just edit it out
I
of the.
don't think we can have like specific
in
people
depth.
names.
Yeah,
Okay.
Give us a general gist.
I can't name names, but like, there were very few applications, honestly.
Dang.
And Marianne's in
sorry.
particular came in like what, 2 hours before the deadliest deadline?
Oh.
It's not your fault.
No, I remember that because I was. You told me that you guys were understaffed and like, oh, you weren't even thinking about being the next editor. I'm like, maybe I should apply, and then Sumi talked me out of it because like, Ark, you already have a position.
Talked you out of it.
Do not get 2 positions.
Oh,
And
you
then,
can
like,
do that?
You can, but it's highly.
suicide.
If you're a masochist, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's like-
It would be the 3rd time for me, so.
Why would you do that to yourself? That's,
Oh my god.
Uh,
Yeah, I was honestly
but
under
I
the.
was a script. I was also published for schools. So I was at least like credited. I was at least had some credit, but like
oh, that's right.
again, they were like, Ark, no.
Yeah, I was
You're the-
honestly
you're the
under the
HR,
impression
no.
I'd have to stick around in Edboard longer than a year, but like it looks like Sumi and Marianne have that covered. So here I am back on the submissions side of the board.
How do the terms work, pa? Like, how do
Huh?
like you can stay longer than one term,
I mean, if no one else applies for your spot.
bro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
There's no.
So-
Dang.
So I guess we can say is thank you for giving him freedom
Oh.
Yeah,
Thank you for setting this man free.
and welcome to the
Removed him from his shackles. So it feels like I just.
yeah,
feels
2
like
hours
genie.
later, and I would have been stuck in here for another year.
So thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
How are you finding the arc so far?
I really like it so far. I felt a little bad because in the beginning I wasn't able to attend much of the org events since it was conflicting with my schedule, so I was only showing up for Edboard events. And Sumi was joking with me about that. She's like, Marian, you're the editor-in-chief that never shows her face. And I'm like, I'm there in the background, but I will try to show up more. Like I try to go to Tambayan a bit more often now.
That's true. I was
Yeah.
surprised I saw you.
I'm
Come
here.
back. It was like a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, fine, see,
You're
cool.
here.
Yeah, I can
I have
really
no idea
happy
where
to
I've
run
ever
into
seen
you in
you.
Tambayan.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
fun.
At some point, like before I had met you, I thought you were a different Marian completely.
Mm.
Because there's another Marian in the. I'm not sure if she's still in WJ.
No, she graduated.
Oh,
last
she
year.
graduated? I
Yeah.
didn't know, but congrats to her. But yeah, I thought it was that Marian. So when people were saying like Marian, I was thinking of that girl's face, and I didn't know you yet. So I was just like, Marian, oh, that girl that I met a long time ago when I was a frosh. What?
She's killer at karaoke, by the way.
That's cool. That slays.
But yeah, now we're going to move on.
What?
What? Never
it's
mind.
okay. It's okay.
Try that again.
Wait.
Hmm?
Wait. So how long have you been EIC now?
It's been. I started in September, so
That's the first term though.
It's about to be the
yeah,
second term.
yeah, 6 months ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you EIC?
1 full academic year.
So how was your term?
Oh my gosh.
Take us through.
War flashbacks.
War
You
flashbacks.
should just like stop
Real.
your face and be like, and then, can
Viet-
somebody edit it?
Vietnam noises, you
Yeah.
know.
Let's see. Okay, so like for the first sem, barely anything was going on my end, and then like by the second sem, stuff was starting to ramp up, and third sem was just pure chaos, quite
Fine.
frankly. And it wasn't just because of like the the publication thing, although for sure it did play a part in it, it was because of like, no, I am not going to speak any further on this. That would be smack talk, and I do not believe in that. But yeah, it was pretty hectic for reasons that went beyond the publication. Well, I can speak on the publication itself. I was under the impression that like I'd have until the end of the sem to deal with it, but then like the president at the time, Anatol, she had the schedule bumped up so that the book launch would take place at the same time as Reverie, yeah. Which is like all well and good, except for the fact that like there was a lot to speed run, and I have complained before about being understaffed, right? That's where we really felt it. Like I'm not even that familiar with poetry, okay? And like I still had to take up some of the submissions because our poetry editor at the time, she's also like the layout girly. So like,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
She was quite busy.
Oh.
She handled the actual layout stuff of the publication.
Oh.
And then there's the fact that like I got sick during a particularly busy time of it.
No.
So
Dang.
yeah, chaos. But hey, we got out of it alive, successfully publishing.
Surprisingly, the events actually turned out really well.
Yeah, so we have that.
Except for like the time, but like otherwise.
So in spite of the scuff, I can at least look back on it and say with my whole chest, it was a good experience.
Okay. You guys all, I feel kind of bad, but I don't feel that bad. I'm just a busy person, so forgive me. But I know little to nothing about scribbles.
That's okay.
So, as editors, can you tell me your role in scribbles? Yes.
They edit.
Yes, but like specifics, you know.
It's a lot of logistics.
Okay.
Like right now I'm in communication with publishing places. I'm like checking at prices. I also set out like for me at least, because during my term I have decided to separate from the publications department. So Edboard is doing our own pubs and all the designs.
Right.
So I handle some of the pubs myself since I have a specific vision in mind and I can do it, so I'm doing it. So the designs, the themes, and also the submissions themselves, I look at it, the layouting, the total pages, how it all fits into the thing. It's a lot of stuff.
See, there was more to it than just editing Arc, okay?
Let's see.
I completely forgot about the split from pubs though.
Also,
I'm not gonna lie.
respectfully, I love your pubs. You guys should go check out Marian's pubs.
Oh.
They're really hot.
They're
in,
really
in like
cool.
the best way. They look so good.
They
look really good.
On my
Let's
end,
check with
I
the events too.
operated on an older, very different system from what Marianne's doing now. Because like we still had the EVP of creatives, and we were still officially.
Now is like a completely new thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good change.
And we were still officially knit closely with publications, so I at least didn't have to overthink on like
The art and
the
whatnot.
logistics part, you know, like dealing with printing costs and all that, which is just as well because I frankly kind of suck dealing with that kind of thing. Much of the chaos on my end came from like having to arrange like workshops and the workshop rather, and like the paperwork and logistics that surrounded all that, and the sheer volume, quite frankly, of submissions that we had to deal with relative to the actual number of people in Edboard. I already saw this like coming, to be honest, a sem early, which is why I had brought up back then like maybe Edboard could have their own JOs, but then apparently it wasn't as urgent. Yeah.
Does Edboard have JOs now, or do we still
No.
they don't have JOs?
I don't think
No,
they do.
and I have rather openly complained about it,
Dang.
despite no longer officially being involved.
I'll bring it up.
We'll bring it up.
Yeah, that honestly, that's the part that had me on the verge of
I'm
tears.
kind of surprised that they don't have JOs. I don't know why that's the system, but I'll bring it up.
Honestly, that was the part of like the whole process that had me the most in tears. we were undermanned relative to the scale of the task we were dealing with.
Well, apart from like the grueling stuff that you went through, like what did you enjoy most about
The
editing?
fun stuff? The
Yeah,
works
the fun
themselves. Like looking into the worlds the writers construct, and seeing not only what it is, but also what it could be, as I've mentioned with like what I like about editing. That had to be the fun part. And along with the fact that like since I'm such an active presence in WG, I got to actually like
Meet the author.
yeah,
meet the
sit
writers.
down and talk closely to the people along the way, right down to irritating them about like giving me overly cramped paragraphs. That had to be like my most recurrent complaint. Space out your paragraphs. It was either that or monologues, but like that's its own can of worms.
I witnessed this in Tambayan. He would scold
Yeah,
them.
I do remember you talking about that. I also remember like because we used to like talk about it on the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Saturday like Discord chats, whatnot. I also, what was I gonna say? Do you have any like specific, if you're allowed to say, like specifically memorable like points of like works that you've read, etc. If you can remember.
I think for both of them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right-
yeah. Works
Okay.
that you've read so far from submissions, etc.
So like back in my leg of the race, during the workshop that I held for Scribbles, one of the creative nonfiction works actually moved me to tears.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, I should show you guys that sometime.
what was it about, if you may ask?
Let's see. It had to do with like food and like the emotions and feelings of home tied to it,
Oh, I feel like I know
which
what this
hits
is.
all the
cute.
harder considering that like the writer was talking about her experiences with that like feeling far away from home,
Oh,
and like
Yeah, I know who this
it's like the anime. What's the name of that anime?
is. Huh?
Fruits Basket, the one with like there's like different.
Yeah,
flavors
Fruit
on it.
Basket.
Yeah, that was really cute.
like I literally had to take
I
like a
wasn't-
minute or two to just like freak out over it before continuing on with the workshop proper.
That's cute.
I wasn't there for that event, but I heard a lot of good things about that.
I don't think I attended any of those. But anyway.
How about you?
How about you,
Marian?
Marian?
My favorite work.
Yeah. Favorite work? Anything?
Memorable. Let's go with memorable.
We can go with memorable if you don't have a favorite yet.
The one that is probably favorable is, I believe, written by the same author that you mentioned for me. It was also non-fiction.
Slay for that person,
Work.
whoever that is.
So, the topic was basically about using AI, sort of, as a way to like help themselves not feel so like alone again from being in such a far place, because people tend to always conflate
like the
belonging with
chatbot.
always needing to like have someone physical next to you, but sometimes like they just talk about, oh, I just need someone to like kind of rant to, just someone to help me fix little problems.
Yeah,
And that
people
was
are social
yeah.
beings.
Yeah,
That's so
so that was
interesting.
something that was
That's
pretty
giving
nice.
like her.
Yeah,
That's giving
the
her-
Joaquin Phoenix
Giving,
movie.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
Joaquin Phoenix
her?
movie, or
Yeah,
like
that-
Ex Machina.
Damn, that takes me
Okay,
back.
Ex Machina maybe not so much, but
Wait,
like
I think I'm misremembering.
that,
but
that,
like,
that's a thriller movie.
do you know? Oh, my bad. I was thinking of like
We do not need another Terminator.
I'm just thinking of like a robot movies with like companionship.
iRobot is a good one.
I don't think I've seen that one, but I like that
I
notion.
feel
That's
old.
really cute.
Robot movies that deal in companionship. I'm guessing Wall-E would count.
Oh yeah, but there are no humans there.
They're both AI.
They're both AI.
There you go.
Yeah, but
That's
that's
the
a
only
really cute
difference.
notion. This person, kudos to you. If
I think
you're
they're
watching
they're
this.
two different people though.
Really?
Yeah, because the other person's not in the argument one.
Oh.
Like the person from.
Oh.
Yeah, I have.
Are they
Yeah, I
graduated,
have. I
or did
have
they leave?
screamed
I'm
to
not
her about
sure.
it, so like she knows.
Interesting.
She knows she hit the
She
bullseye.
got
with
inspired to
me.
post it on social media. For both of you guys, is there any advice for any future editors or current ones right now in your division? Any advice you'd like to give them?
Like editors in general or
Yeah.
editors in chief?
We can- we can go
editors
in general.
in general?
And then those who are gonna come after
People
you.
who are interested in the position of being an editor.
I'd say it's definitely about communicating with your writers.
Yeah.
You have to. This is something that I've come to learn because I'm very straightforward when it comes to my way of suggesting revisions. I don't sugarcoat it. I expect my writers to be like adults. Take it. Like you're 18 and above. I assume. But like I expect them to understand that we don't give these revisions or comments out from a mean place. We say it because if I selected your work in the first place, I see potential in it. So of course I'm going to develop it
constructive criticism.
To the best that I can. I would say for editors, you have to learn how to use the sandwich method. Say the revision, something nice in between. Make it a little sweet, and then the revision, because I do understand that it has come to my attention recently that I am approaching it as if I'm dealing with a bunch of people who have been like in the writing or editing industry for like a while, but that's not the case. I am dealing with people who use writing as a hobby, so I have to be a little more lighthearted in my approach and not be so about it. So yeah, just learn how to be gentle with them.
So that's what people are talking about.
It's about being able to know when to be gentle and know when to be harsh enough, to be direct.
You also carry a lot of aura.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, it's the vibe. Okay.
On my end, with editing advice, one thing I always do is like ask questions, lots and lots of questions. Why did you emphasize this? Why did you word it like this? Is there something about this I need to know about? Did you forget to include details here? Because like,
contextualize.
yeah, I'm very curious about like the whys of something, whether it be like, for example, the characterization in what you do or don't reveal. You know, like what the character doesn't know, what the character does know, what the character is focused on, so on and so forth. So I want to get to the why of it first before I make a proper judgment on like change it or don't change it or whatever. But then looking back on it, during my stint as editor-in-chief, I feel like one regret of mine was that I did not lean on my authority enough, because like I fold really easily.
In Marian's words, you weren't enough.
Yeah, I have the opposite problem. I'm too gentle, because like
I love that for us.
I love the dynamics of the two.
It comes from this weird place of empathy where like my thought process goes something along the lines of, many times have I been the one
judge.
doing a screw up, and during those times I really would have wanted to have been shown like mercy and understanding. So when I'm in a position to show mercy and understanding, of course that's what I'm going to incline towards first. But then like, I think this was a time where I learned the hard way. There are some situations that just do not allow that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sometimes things in a work are just objectively wrong. Sometimes decisions being made or contributions being given are just not what is needed of the situation. And if I had another shot at this thing, yeah, I probably would have kept a more careful eye on
Firmer grasp.
when to, you know, when to stop being like
Nice.
the words, when to stop applying the gentle touch.
Okay. Wow. That's
That was a really interesting.
We have a very
views.
interesting dynamic here. I like that. I think that's all the time we have left for today. So, would you like to close us off?
Okay.
Okay, guys, this was Writing in Progress. Thank you so much to our lovely guests. This was Marian and Raph, and we are your hosts, Eros and
Arc.
This
I will
was
catch
Writing.
you next time on the next episode of Writing in Progress.
Thank you so much. Bye. Wave goodbye, guys.
Bye bye.